What is up guys, today I'm going to take a look at some of the brand new cards coming to Paragon as well as a change to an existing card. Just a disclaimer that anything I mention in this video is of course subject to change. We might not see these cards for a while, or they might be in the next patch, or they might not appear at all. You might have noticed that a few of these cards snuck into the update on Saturday, so let's take a look. The first card is Butter the Changeling, a 4-cost growth affinity card that has base stats of 100 max health and 75 mana, but the interesting thing about this card is its passive. While poisoned, increased all healing received by 100%, including health regen and lifesteal. Now this is a great counter to cards like Tainted Magic, and I've noticed an influx in poison related cards, which might indicate we're likely to see a poison based hero very soon. Next is Empyrean Mask, which is a 4-cost order card that has no base stats but a very interesting active ability. You can toggle between 23 physical damage and energy damage, 33 physical armor and energy armor, and 0.9 mana regen. So essentially I think you have 3 modes: damage, armor and mana regen. It might be the case that mana regen and armor are one mode, but until we get the card we won't know. I like the idea of this card. I think the armor and mana regen is a good combo. The damage is okay. You're really paying 4 points for the ability to be able to switch between damage and armor, which I mean could prove very good or very bad depending on the situation. The fact that it's order means heroes like Steel, Muriel, Decker can all invest in a card like this and use the damage to push a lane solo, but also use the armor to soak up damage in team fights. It could be an interesting pick on Sparrow as well. Blightbones is another 4-cost growth card. It has base stats of 100 max health with a unique passive. When hit by a critical strike, apply Blight to attacker. Blight reduces healing by 75%. Now I'm not too thrilled about this card. Crit really got nerfed already and I don't see many people using crit, so I don't think this card will see much use unless they're planning to change it. I mean, where was this card when I was getting destroyed by every single person running crit? However, it still might be a good counter to Sparrow players that run crit and lifesteal, but we'll just have to wait and see. Thundercleaver is a 5-cost universal card which has a base stat of 6.5 attack speed, but again, like all the cards in this list, the unique active and passive is what we're most interested in, and this card has both of them. The unique passive increases cleave damage by 25%, which might not seem like a lot, but I think this is a great card for heroes like Kalari who already struggle to push lanes and will only enhance heroes like Grux. If you're not sure what cleave is, it is simply a portion of damage that melee heroes do in a radius in front of them. The unique active instantly deals basic attack damage as physical damage to nearby enemy units, and it's on a 30-second cooldown. Stabling is a 5-cost corruption card with both an active and a passive. The base stat has 1.4 health regen, while the unique active consumes 20% of your max health to teleport forward, but cannot be used if critically wounded, and has a 15-second cooldown. So you could teleport pretty often, but at a hefty cost. Just in case you didn't know, critically wounded means when you're under 25% health. The unique passive works similar to Blink Charm. If you've taken damage, then the card cannot be used for 5 seconds. I'm not really sure who I see using this card. Maybe Kalari with lifesteal, that way she could blink in, deal damage as well as healing up, and then use her Q and flip to escape. Blinkshot is our first Fury card and it costs 5 points. Again, it has both a unique active and passive as well as a base stat that has 2.5% cooldown reduction. Its unique active allows you to teleport forward but is on a massive 300-second cooldown, but the unique passive resets this cooldown on player kill or assist. What is interesting here is that this card costs the same as Blink Charm, provides cooldown reduction, has no penalty applied if you take damage, at least not yet, and can have its cooldown reset. So Blink Charm only has a 90-second cooldown, but if you're playing a carry like Twin Blast where you tend to get a lot of kills or assists, this card could definitely be interesting, maybe even on a hero like Iggy or Chimera where you could benefit from the cooldown reduction as well. Pain Eater is also a 5-cost Fury card with 100 max health and a unique passive that gives you 40% lifesteal while critically wounded. Again, critically wounded is when you're at 25% health or less. I'm pretty excited for this card. I feel like it could be really good or really bad. This might allow you to put less points into lifesteal and more points elsewhere because you can rely on the 40% lifesteal in the passive. This could definitely be an interesting pick on carries with the Fury affinity like Murdoch and Twin Blast, and I really can't wait to get my hands on this card because you guys know how much I love playing Fury affinity heroes. Wicked Stigma is a 5-cost corruption card with a 2.5% cooldown reduction and 100 health, but with a unique active that for 6 seconds on hit with ability gains vision of targets for 10 seconds with a 120-second cooldown. Now I'm not really sure who can benefit from this card. Like if Grim hit someone and they ran away, sure he could use his GTFO, but it's probably better to invest points elsewhere like in damage. So another card that might relate to a future hero because I don't think this one is gonna get much play, but I could be wrong. Teleblink is a 5-cost intellect card with 0.3 mana regen. Similar to that of Stablink, Teleblink's unique active consumes 30% of your max mana to teleport forward with a 15-second cooldown. The unique passive stops you from teleporting for 5 seconds if you have taken damage from an enemy hero. Maybe a card you might see on Gadget or Gideon, potentially even Howitzer. I'm really not too sure how viable a teleport is over mana though. The cost is pretty steep. 30% is a lot to pay for a teleport, especially on heroes like Gideon who already have a teleport. Arcanome is a 6-cost intellect card and I'm pretty excited about this one. It gives you 7.58 physical damage, but I'm pretty sure this should be energy damage and 75 max mana. The unique passive says gain 5 energy damage and 30 mana every 2 minutes and stacks up to 10 times. So what this means is you can gain a total of 58 damage and 300 mana at full stacks. Now this card could definitely be useful on a hero like Gadget and Gideon. In fact, any intellect caster really, since most casters have to invest into building tanky items. This is a nice way to gain some advantage without investing too many points. If you look at something like Solaris Reactor, if we invested 3 casts into this, we would hit around 45 damage. So I think Arcanome at full stacks is pretty good value, and you have to remember that we're also getting mana. So the card actually starts off by being a really bad investment, but gradually increases over time. So the payoff is worth it, but that's if your game is going to even last that long. Titan Leaves is a 6-cost growth card, which is pretty much the same as Arcanome, but has base stats of 7.58 physical damage and 100 health, and the unique passive gives you 5 physical damage and 50 health every 2 minutes and stacks up to 10 times. So pretty much the same as Arcanome but for health and physical, and I think 500 health is fantastic. This could be a pretty interesting card on Rampage and make him even more OP than he already is. Scarab Claws is a 6-cost corruption card with 6.5 attack speed and 2.5% cooldown reduction with a unique passive that on hit with a basic attack to a target with a shield shreds all of their armor for 6 seconds. As if Muriel wasn't bad enough, this card just takes the piss. The fact that this shreds all of their armor and not a percent is insane. I really want this card since it's a perfect counter to Muriel and a big fuck you to her, especially if they ever decide to make her viable again. Purity Sensor is the most expensive card so far, a 7-cost order card with 75 max mana and 100 max health. The unique active removes all debuffs from yourself and nearby allies, so definitely one for the support. A card that I'm not really interested in because I think it costs quite a bit for what it is. But I mean, removing all debuffs from yourself and nearby allies could definitely be beneficial. Another 7-cost card is Aether Gem, I think that's how you say it, which has 7.58 physical damage and a unique active that enters you into an ethereal state for 2.5 seconds, becoming immune to basic attacks but unable to use basic attacks. During this time you take 40% more damage from abilities. I'm not really too sure how good this card could be. Like, does this stop you from entering auto sprint when you get hit since you're immune to basic attacks? Maybe this might even stop your blink charm from going on cooldown when you get hit. I'm not really sure on this card, to be honest. Blocking basic attacks for 2.5 seconds but at the price of you being unable to use basic attacks, I think it really depends on the hero. I could see this being good on like casters, maybe supports as well. You definitely don't want to take this on a carry, it'd be pretty much a big waste, especially at a cost of 7 points. The final card is Lazarus Key, a 5-cost universal card which allows you to place a harvester, gives you 100 max health and 1.4 health regen. It has 2 unique passives. The first allows you to refresh your harvester key at base, and the second, while on a well collection pad, so collecting amber from a harvester. I'm not sure if this is only active when you're collecting or if you're just on the pad, but you gain 8.4 health regen and plus 80 movement speed. Movement speed lasts 5 seconds and stacks every second up to 240, so it takes you 3 seconds to hit full movement speed stacks. Now this is a very interesting card, especially when they remove travel mode. I expect more cards like this that increase movement speed in the jungle, and I for one think this card will see a lot of play when travel mode gets removed. I also think it's a cool way to incorporate harvesters other than them just giving you global amber. I also noticed these cards, so forgive me if they were already there, but I don't think I've seen them before. We have Mender's File, a 1-cost order card with a unique active that gives you 7.5 health regen for 15 seconds and then 3.8 mana regen to nearby allies for 7 seconds, and recharges the base, has a 15-second cooldown and 2 charges. We also have Shepherd's Fire, which is basically Mender's Fire reversed, giving you 2.85 mana regen for 15 seconds and 10 health regen to nearby allies for 7 seconds. I think these could be really interesting early game cards. It might allow a team to go super aggressive in the beginning to pick up a few kills. And the big change is the Shockwave. Yes, Shockwave might be getting a nerf. They're removing its ability to knock up nearby enemy heroes and changing it to slow nearby enemy heroes by 90% for 2 seconds with a 45-second cooldown. I really like Shockwave's active. I kinda wish they made this new active into a new card, but I still think it's pretty good. Like, I'll still use Shockwave, but I guess we'll see. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Let me know which of these cards, if any, you're looking forward to. Some of them I definitely can't wait to get my hands on, like Titan Leaves, Arc Gnome, and Blink Shot, and some of the others I don't think I'll ever use, so do let me know in the comment section below.